Okay, so you're Bloodfrost. Okay. So hi guys. Today I have a pleasure to talk to Bloodfrost. Bloodfrost plays in a couple of kingdoms. He will tell you more about it himself. And why we talk today? Well, Bloodfrost decided to abruptly leave all the rooms we shared, probably many more, and he posted very peculiar video on Facebook group, and all people went crazy. Besides that, he's a monster, and so far some 47 players asked me to do the interview with this very person. 47 players, or he has 47 different accounts, you tell me. So, Bloodfrost, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bloodfrost. I'm from Chicago. Currently right now, I'm only playing in Kingdom 124 right now.
124, okay.
Yeah, so I've actually, let's say I've narrowed it down so I could just kind of focus a little bit more on Kingdom 124. So, yeah, I left, I've been at Kingdom 423 since that kingdom opened, and it was a hard decision to make, but building multiple castles and being the stat leader in more than one kingdom is really, really difficult. I mean, playing events like KVK and, you know, Darklands simultaneously with 2 iPads and such like that, maintaining stat leader, it got to me after a while, and it just became a little bit over the top, where like my GOG became like my full-time job.
So 423 was your first kingdom, so you're quite a fresh player, right?
Yeah, it's just it was under a different name, Arc Raider, and then once I developed the name Bloodfrost when playing in 423, and it kind of just stuck. So I decided to change like all my castles' names to Bloodfrost.
Okay, so how about 52? Because I think I've also heard that you were playing in 52.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to, you know, play over there and whatnot. It just I love Kingdom 52. They have a great thing going on over there. A lot of really good people over there, and just the situation that for me playing over there wasn't exactly for me. I absolutely love those people. You know, I still talk to Hippie like frequently, all the time, and you know, she's absolutely great. And you know, Troll he's a beast. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, I love Troll.
You know, yeah, they're good people over there, and I really, really like them. So I mean, I was like, you know, not like crazy spending, but I was just like maintaining, you know, but you know, it was at that point in time I was playing 3 castles, and 2 of them were stat leaders in 2 kingdoms, and essentially leading the way. And also I led KVK in 2 kingdoms. So just imagine, like, I mean, there was a few KVKs where I was playing Kingdom, you know, 423 on one iPad, 124 on another iPad, and then 52 on my phone. So it just, yeah. And not to mention, I work after the morning of KVK, I work 10 hours at the tattoo shop. So I usually don't sleep. I stay up all night long, don't sleep at all, and then hopefully KVK is over by the time I get to work. But sometimes it goes on, and I'll just leave my iPad on while I'm at work, and then, you know, try to play here and there in between customers and such like that. But sometimes it gets difficult. But KVK is rough for me because I am Chicago based. So, you know, waking up at like 5 in the morning isn't really easy for me. I'm kind of a night person, so it's a lot easier for me just.
So, unavoidable question here. How much you've spent on game in total, or let's say last month?
Oh man.
Maybe a ballpark, you know.
I try not to keep track too deeply because it really pisses me off sometimes, because I start thinking about all the things that I could have bought instead of that. But I mean, I'm well since December, well over 100,000.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, well, that's just, I try not to keep too much track. I mean, like in the past 2 weeks, over 7,000.
That's a lot of Toyota Corollas, so I understand.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just I enjoyed. Well, in 124, my situation is also I've been the only one with T13s, and essentially that's it's a heavy weight to carry, and I'm sure that there's many other people out there that are in the same scenario where they have some decent stats and they may have pushed into C44 or C45, but then they're kind of making up the slack for a lot of other castles that haven't pushed yet, and it's a heavy weight to carry, and it kind of puts a lot of pressure on you to not only keep spending but also to do a lot of extra duty. I'd be clearing towers all the time solo, and too impatient to wait for rallies and stuff like that. So
I understand. Yeah, in 33 there are people who only clear towers. They don't even mega rally, and because there are so many people. So I totally understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And how many stars the 124 has?
I think we're at 8. Let me check here.
That's really nice. So as one set of T13s, it's really nice. So I don't think you have anything to be ashamed of regarding the power.
63rd on the Kingdom Star leaderboard at 8 stars. Yeah. But I mean, the last 2 KVKs we actually, since Uncharted has been going on, I reached out to whoever we were up against. One was Jay, and then Hulk77, and then another time, the previous, it was, let me see here, I can't even remember, but, it's, we essentially didn't fight, and, I was up against 413 Sikshi, and, we were, I don't know. One thing, too, is that we're at 8 stars. I didn't want to push it too far. I'll be able to handle it, but I don't think the rest of my kingdom can really handle it. And that's the thing. I kind of wanted to help get some other players to C44 plus to get more T13s ultimately in the kingdom. And as of just the other day, we recently got our first additional castle that has T13s now. So that's really good. So that's a huge accomplishment overall in the kingdom. And I'm glad that I was able to help, win us a couple KVKs and stuff like that with the help of my kingdom. And it's great. There's been a lot of momentum lately, which is, it makes...
And it's fairly old kingdom, I must say, 124. So...
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, there was Kingdom War here for a really long time. And I don't want to get into the drama or anything like that, but unfortunately that Kingdom War was going on for so long that it caused a lot of animosity in between certain alliances and between certain people, and that hatred is really hard to break, and I've tried really hard. In the recent past, I decided to make a move where I started a new alliance in 124, and it's called ICE. And what I tried to do was try to bring everybody back together and create a place where we can promote a high level of activity, a high level of participation, and also a place where players can actually learn how to play properly. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of the people here it was just because of that war, that ongoing war that just lasted so long, that a lot of people really got a lack of KVK experience, and there was a lot of lack of participation. So there's still some people here that really just didn't know what they were doing. And I know that it's like that in other kingdoms too. It's not just our kingdom.
Oh yeah.
But, people sending improper guards, improper marches, and not knowing about, just like basic mechanics of the game. They were just kind of really behind, I guess, especially for an older kingdom, which we should be a lot further progress. But so I started this alliance, and in less than 24 hours, we became the biggest alliance in this kingdom. And we're actually a top 100 alliance in the game, even before Uncharted. So it was testimony that people really needed some kind of strong leadership and to be kind of guided. And then once the word kind of got around, more and more people kind of contributed, and I gathered players from multiple different alliances.
You already mentioned that, but can you tell the viewers what do you do for a living, or is it a secret?
I am a professional body modification artist, and I have been working in the tattoo industry since 1998, and I own my own company as well. And yeah, that's what I do for a living.
I also heard, correct me if I'm wrong, because they may totally be gossips, that you're a musician?
Yeah, I used to do it as like a touring musician, and you know, now I just do it for fun. Yeah, it was more of like an actual real job when I was much younger, but now I just do it for, for.
Is there any place we can hear it, or you don't want to show it?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's we're on like Spotify and.
Oh great! I'll ask you for links later. Another thing I've heard that you're a race car driver.
Yeah, I'm retired pro Formula Drift driver. I got my pro Formula Drift license in 2011, and I was NOS Energy Drink Driver of the Year in 2011, and then went pro, and I also retired from professional car racing, but with the help of a few sponsors, they have just finished building me a new car after taking multiple years off, and it looks like I'm going to be making a comeback to drive what it looks like. So
I'm glad I asked. And you're ahead of my next question, because I wanted to ask you about your YouTube stuff. Because you have a YouTube channel, but maybe you have more than one, and I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, there's like some music YouTube stuff out there, but mostly, it's just like my Bloodfrost Guns of Glory YouTube, and I'm not super active on that. I don't really have a set schedule.
We all don't, really. Maybe others do, but I don't.
I just post here and there. I accidentally deleted one of my newest videos the other day, and I still can't even believe it. And after I upload a video, I usually delete all the content to make room for a new video, you know what I mean, on my devices and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I can't even, I lost all the files, so I can't even like re-upload it. So it was weird. There was a glitch on YouTube where like my video was already uploaded and live. But if you click onto the icon where it says like, your videos and like uploads, it was still showing. Yeah,
I know the pain. Believe me. Maybe I didn't delete completely anything, but it happened to me once or twice.
So.
Okay, so let's talk about the main reason we talked today. You decided to record a goodbye video.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Bloodfrost here. I just want to warn you guys about that new recruitment haul. Don't do it. It is a scam, all right? It's a complete scam. They just want your money. I just spent over $650 just tonight, okay? And I got one single Donna piece out of $650, one Donna piece. That's it. You know what? I'm one of the biggest spenders in the entire game. One of the most strongest castles of the whole game. I spent over $7,000 in the past just 2 weeks, all right?
And my first question is, did you really leave that day?
I was seriously planning on it. Yeah, I was really, really, really mad. I just, I was pretty mad. I left all the rooms. I was already making arrangements to leave the castle, and yeah, I was really mad.
And
yeah.
What was the direct? I know there are many reasons, but what was the direct reason you decided to abruptly leave?
Well, I could go on and on of like millions of different reasons, but the thing that really triggered me was this whole new Sun badges, and there's a new guard release, which was obviously really, really soon compared to their normal typical schedule. We just had those other, the cavalry guards released, and then all of a sudden now infantry guards. And it's just like really hard timing. Also, we just released equipment, and then oh my God, here's new guards. And for some it's not that big of a deal, but a lot of like the bigger players, there's a lot of pressure on us sometimes to spend, because a lot of us are carrying kingdoms, and you know, it almost like you feel the weight on your shoulders to spend for that. You know, it's not really for you, it's for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And so I needed to get these new guards. And so, you know, I'm spending and spending and spending. And you know, they came up with this new system where it's just like, oh, the drop rate is better. But then all of a sudden incorporated fragments. And I just couldn't believe it. But I went ahead and spent a ton of money. And the first day I actually did really, really good. And Chris B actually reached out, and he was like, he told me also how much he spent, which was, you know, a pretty good amount. The same thing, well, not quite as much as I spent, but really close. And we both did really good the first day. Well, then all of a sudden the next day, you know, it's a little bit worse. And then by the third day, it was like horrible. Like I just literally couldn't get anything. And I spent some money on the sun badges earlier in the day, a pretty considerable amount. And then I went home, and I'm just sitting there after eating dinner, and I decided to buy about $650 of sun badges. And I only got one Donna piece out of $650. And it just was like one strikeout after another of just nothing. And then I get so frustrated, and I spend another 100 and get so mad again that I was like anger spending, just like chasing it. And I was like, oh my God, and I just keep spending, and I got one Donna piece. I could not believe it. I ripped a cabinet off the wall in my kitchen.
Oh God.
Yeah, I got so mad. And that's when I uploaded that video for Facebook urging people to be careful about their spending, because I was like, this game is a scam, it's rigged. And I know I've talked to some other bigger players about this, and I truly, truly believe, absolutely 100% certain, that the game has these, it took me almost 1,300 elixirs to get my first trident. And then other friends of mine that are in Alliance that never even spend, they get it out of like the first, you know, whatever, 30. And I just was like, man, I swear, and I know that they're monitoring our spending because of the VIP program. They know how much we're spending. So that's what really made me mad. Like, and I don't mind spending money, but I just want to know what I'm getting. I don't like the gambling element of the game. Like if a new guard came out and they said, okay, this guard's going to be $1,500. Okay, well, here's $1,500. Here's my money. I'm going to buy it. You know, but this whole gambling thing of just like throwing money away and implementing this like that gamble is I just don't like it. And not to mention where I think they're manipulating the drop rates and the drop percentages. That's what triggered me, and that's what made me flip out. And I sent like paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs to GOG VIP, and all they responded was like, all right, I'm sorry, you know, I'll send this and every word to the devs. And I was like, oh great, once they see this rant, I was like, my account's gonna get suspended.
Okay, we can continue. So
okay.
So this is one thing, and I'm sorry, but you know, you cannot prove it, because they will always say that you were unlucky. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
You were just unlucky, like a couple other high spenders. So it's just like that. So I don't think you would be successful in proving it. We can only underline this and ask them to stop doing so, and well, beg for mercy, basically, which is kind of sad. And as you know, many other monsters recently decided to leave. I'm not sure if I can disclose all the names, but you know these names. For example, Rookie, or he announced that he's leaving. Scott from 170, and at least 3 other Girls No One finally left. Definitely this time. So you know, there are things that trigger big spenders to leave, and I think this one is one of the main factors, actually. You also mentioned updates, and I think all agree with you that these updates, I think you said that you don't mind updates per se, because the company needs to earn money, right? But what makes you angry, and what makes angry a lot of people, that you have new item, like now we have an equipment, and a week later we have, well, guards. And this is basically like another update, right? So it's not fair, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like rapid fire throwing at this new content at us. And I remember, depending on how long you were playing the game, I mean, it was a lot different, so to speak, back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And this new research is coming out too. What are they going to do? Drop that when they drop the new guard weapons? I mean, it is just a game, but like I told people before, to me, this game isn't just a game. I swear to you, it is like a lifestyle. GOG is a lifestyle. We're on this game enough where it could be considered a full-time job. This is a huge, not only like personal investment, but also a huge financial investment. Our relationships and friendships that we build along the way, and it is a lifestyle. GOG is a lifestyle. I have always been kind of a nerd for the aesthetic, like the stuff of the game. Not just the mechanics and the overall like gameplay, but like the visual aspect of it. That's really important to me. And I am kind of one of those players that likes to have all the skins and the cool marches and cool airship skins. For me, that element of the game makes it a little bit more enjoyable for me. And I don't know why, but I like collecting all those skins and stuff like that. So it's just, I mean, some people, they just use the basic default skin and they're happy with it. And it looks good. I mean, I don't dislike it. I just like having a lot of those. There's always at least 2 or so people in every single alliance in every kingdom that like have almost no stats, don't really participate in events, and they always go super hard in the pirate chest event. They always have these permanent skins, and they literally will never show up for KVK.
Okay, so this question, I don't have it at least, but it's very important. After your video, after your breakup and tearing up the kitchen cabinet, do you have you decided to spend less or to change anything?
Well, that night, I said I'm never giving GOG a single cent. I was like, I'm tired of giving them all my money, and they treat me like crap. And then, like, literally the next day, I dropped like $800. So I don't know.
So small middle spenders aspect, I think you already said that the gap is getting crazy, and I am small to middle spender, so it really frustrates me double because I cannot catch up. We can only just get used to it and to the fact that we have our own league, and that's it. So that's a little bit sad.
Acquiring new equipment or pieces by doing and completing challenges that are difficult. I think that would be a great element in the game where instead of just simply spending and getting it right away, which has its pros, obviously it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you get it right away. But if you want to grind out some challenges, eventually you will get it for free. And I wish that they would incorporate more stuff like that into the game. So to keep these free-to-play players and moderate spenders still relevant, they may not have all that new gear right away, but they will ultimately get it if they complete these difficult challenges and stuff. I think that definitely needs to be a part of the game.
From my perspective, what I really wanted to be changed, that what you say basically, that free elements should be upgraded together with what's the word? The elements cost more and more and more, and you still get 1 crimson gold in a dock. So
it's just such a slap in the face.
So if they just increase all these elements, which are from the very beginning of this game, actually, that would be really nice. Or discontinue them. That would be also nice, because it really makes me angry to see this 1 crimson gold or trade in Alliance tab that you can trade 14 ebony or 15 something, whereas you need to have 1 million to upgrade anything. So
absolutely.
For me, it's like they don't care about this stuff, and they should. If it's a game as a whole, they should take care for each element, I think.
Exactly. When you really think about it out of like an outside view perspective, they have a business and we are their customers. And I believe that as a business, when they're trying to sell or like get supply, you know, some type of entertainment or whatever it might be, they really should be listening a little bit closer to the people that generate the revenue, and that's their customers, you know. And it just doesn't seem like they are. They should have some kind of system where certain guards are worth a certain amount of points or whatever, and if you convert these fragments down to something, you can develop, you can get enough points to get the guard that you actually want, where you can like dismantle these fragments into something that you want, that you need, or something like that. I think that would be a great idea, but like it's, you know, like how we mentioned earlier, you know, we have all these great ideas as players because we actually play the game, you know, and then the developers just sit there and release new content. Ridiculous. Oh, here's a topless mermaid. All right. Here's a monkey to throw in your wall.
Okay, that's going to be in the teaser. I know that already. You mentioned players' feedback, so you definitely know, or you maybe know that I was interviewed by FanPlus some time ago, and I know every single player repeated to them that 7 weeks is too long. Like, I don't know a single player who would say 7 weeks is a great idea, yes, let's do it. And guess what? They didn't listen. They just designed it like this, and they had no intention to change it. You know, it's been 4 months since they let us know that this event is going to be live, and this haven't changed. And they took from this event only one thing people were hoping for, which is migrations. Maybe we will be surprised. So about the new event, it sucks because it's 7 weeks. It has a lot of good threads. I see it in 2 Kingdoms I'm playing. What do you think about taking away UAC and kill event? Good thing or bad thing?
Yeah, this Uncharted event has seemed more like a really big chore than it does like a fun game. It seems more like a job, and I feel like a lot of other players, I've heard the same feedback where it's just like, especially like the bigger players having to be on literally constantly, and you know, a lot of these click events, they're not very skillful either. It's just lots of time wasting events. Or parts of this, you know. Obviously, as we get closer to the center, things are going to develop into a little bit more of like you know, the actual war game. But, you know, I mean, man, it's very tiring. Uncharted is very tiring.
It should be shortened, right? Like we all suggested, this click part.
Yeah, this event should be a week.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. Like it was on test server, it was perfect. It was very tiring and exhausting, but it was perfect. 1 week event.
Yeah, one week is still like crazy, but you know, and from what I understand, they said that after this one, there's going to be a week break and there's going to be another Uncharted. I'm not sure if that's true, but I mean, like, that's crazy. If they make another one, that's another 7 weeks. I could imagine that a lot of people are just straight up not going to participate or lose interest in the game, and they're just going to stop logging in.
Exactly. Many of these big players I mentioned said that this very event is their last, and because it was introduced, they're leaving because of that. Or some very closely connected stuff, but it's still the reason. And I mean, top 50 game players, you know, like maybe not Rookie, but a couple others, they see how the kingdom changed, and they just say, no, I have enough, I'm leaving, I won't be doing 7 weeks BS like it's right now. I mentioned earlier one thing, and this was KVK. Do you think this new event influences less activity during KVK?
Absolutely. I've talked to multiple, you know, players, And I'm like, what are you guys planning on doing for KVK? What's your plan for KVK? A lot of them are just pretty much decided to defend home because Uncharted is just exhausting, and having the overlapping events is just too much. I personally love KVK. It's where the big show happens. It's like the Super Bowl of GOG, and I love it. It's a great event, and it's fun to watch. Also, I love watching other kingdoms fight KVK when things get boring and over here, and it's just like, man, having Uncharted overlap other events is just crazy.
And how is your matchup going? Are you absolute leaders among these 8 kingdoms, or you do have a competition?
I'm the strongest fish in the sea when it comes to Uncharted right now. So,
I thought so.
Most of the other kingdoms and leaders have been reaching out to me since day one and trying to negotiate naps and what buildings they could have, and they've been trying to reach out to me and stuff like that. And I've been really, really nice. I'm definitely not a bully in this game. Absolutely not. And I know that a lot of other people could vouch for me on that. I'm definitely not a bully. I've been pretty flexible with the other kingdoms and stuff like that. But, some of our other alliances and our kingdoms have been attacked, and then I jump in their alliance really quick and then just go fix everything real fast and then come back to my own alliance. So, when things get out of control, I'm there to help. So.
Yeah, I'm not a bully either, despite some people say. Okay, so what's the reason you actually still play this game after all?
Well, I think most people stay in this game a lot longer than what they anticipate to or want to, is because of the friendship that we develop. A lot of the rooms in the game, the lines, the discords, the friendships that we acquire, and just the social aspect of the game. It's almost like, in a weird way, like a game version of like a social media. You know what I'm saying? Where we have these elements of talking and developing relationships and stuff like that. And that part of the game is certainly better than the game. One of the first things I do when I wake up, I check some of the rooms and I say hi to my friends. And to be honest, I am so busy in real life, which it's crazy that I'm on this game as much as I am. But my real life is crazy, crazy busy. And it doesn't allow me to have much of a social life out of work. And so, I don't really see, people outside of work. So my friends that I have are literally my GOG friends. And it's just kind of weird how that's all happened, I don't see my GOG friends in real life either, but we talk every single day. And I think that's one of the biggest elements that keep me in the game.
So there was a question on my list actually about that. Have game somehow influenced on your real life? Have you met anyone, or this game somehow changed your habits, your life habits?
Oh yeah. Well, it certainly isn't good financially. So I've never met any GOG people in real life. Not like personal friends, but I will never forget in the tattoo shop. This was actually in the recent past, just a few months ago. A lady was getting tattooed, and her husband was just sitting there in a chair waiting and watching her get tattooed, and I walked past him and he was playing GOG on his phone.
Oh,
I
God.
couldn't believe it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, dude. I was like, what kingdom are you from? And we just started talking and stuff like that. And it was great. It was just kind of like a real fun conversation, just about the game and about everything else. And he's like, kind of whispering in my ear, yeah, she doesn't know how much I spend and blah, 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 and stuff like that.
Yeah, it happened to me once in a bus. I was playing and the guy asked me, where's my seat or something. Oh, you play GOG. Which kingdom are you? And I wasn't really, YouTuber then, so no one knew me. And I was so ashamed that someone caught me.
We should totally follow through with this. GOG convention in Vegas. I would really, really, really love that. It just like all the friends and the faces that we know and from the game and all the relations that we've acquired, and we all get like a, whatever, meet up for a weekend in Vegas or something, and, eat food and talk and just have a good time together. I would absolutely love that so much.
I'm sure most of the players know it, but I don't, so I'll ask. How many tattoos do you have?
Oh man, I have no idea. I kind of just go by body parts now, not really like individual tattoos.
Yeah, so what percentage of your body is tattooed?
Oh man, I don't even know how many face tattoos I have. I kind of lost track. so yeah, I really don't know how many tattoos I have.
So what zodiac sign are you?
I'm an Aries.
Any big players you look up for?
Yeah, girls was always, I was a really big fan. And, when I was just a really small castle, I would always watch, their KVKs and stuff like that. And I think that was a big inspiration. Just phenomenal timing. And, I've seen some really incredible gameplay. And it's impressive. That was definitely a motivation. Absolutely, for sure. Someone that I looked up to in the game, for sure.
And how about small spenders? That will be really nice to mention.
There is a player, and his in-game name is called Hellbilly, and he's in Kingdom 423, and also he's in Kingdom 124. And I run him over there to help, and I made him an R4 in 124. He is probably one of the best players that I know of in the entire game, but he's not a spender. But he's probably one of the best players I've ever seen in GOG. It's amazing how much he grows without really spending too much. It is actually impressive. It's crazy, and I've never met anybody else that can finish honor challenge as fast as he can. It's great. I had actually left the game for a few months. I thought really for sure I was quitting, and I actually handed R5 over to Hellbilly because I knew that he would be the best person to run that alliance and to help run that kingdom. And then I wound up coming back to GOG unexpectedly. I don't know, I just missed it. I started talking to some of the friends, and they was like, man, you should really come back, jump in your castle and start building again. And I was like, yeah. And then I wound up spending like 60 grand in like 2 months.
Oh, God.
I went from like C40 to C44 in like less than 2 months. And it was just a lot of playing catch up and stuff, especially on the airship and everything like that. Oh my gosh, I went full crazy.
So I mentioned some gossips which appear to be true about you. Have you heard any gossip about you, which is total crap?
As many great people there are in GOG, there's also a handful of schmucks, And those people I try not to really pay too much attention to, because a lot of them are just, I don't know what their problem is, I just try not to really think. But one funny thing was how many Bloodfrost castles there started popping up after a while. There a few have gone down, but there were Bloodfrost castles. I actually ran into a Bloodfrost castle in New World, and I zeroed it. Because I was like, hey, that's my name.
So you are bully after all.
It was a little guy. I just thought it was funny. I gave him a little love tap. Yeah, and just be like, hey, I'm here. It's kind of a cool feeling, I guess, when I start seeing like all the Bloodfrost castles. They were using like my actual picture of my face and stuff.
Oh God, castle, that's creepy.
Which is kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. It's just a video game, but it's what we do.
Do you have any battle mechanics gaming secrets that you know and you're sure not many other people know?
And that's one thing that's impressive about this game is there is just so much. Like if someone was just starting off, I mean, it'd be almost overwhelming to kind of explain everything to them because there's just so much to know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But say for instance, like hitting the wolf. Way back in the day, we had those mixed marches, and then we were sending artillery and all sorts of stuff, and that was the best hit. And then all of a sudden, it was nothing but distance, and then we started using distance with like T13, T12, T11, and I won't disclose like the amounts, but that was actually working a little bit better also. you know, like little things like that we kind of pick up, and then some of us keep those secrets and some of us like share them, you know. But yeah, there's definitely and the game keeps changing. That's what's really strange also, is that like what used to work sometimes doesn't always work anymore, and they keep changing those the mechanics of the game silently. It's like silent buffs and silent nerfs that are happening, and it's like weird. You're like, man, Gaston used to hit really good. Like, what's going on? You know, it's like I think they are changing things without being public about it. So we kind of just have to, like, you know, keep an eye on that. It's a little bit strange. Like when these new guards that just came out, they are completely overpowered right now. They're super OP, and that was one of the reasons why it pushed me so hard to spend on these new guards, because I couldn't believe how powerful they were. Even when I only had them at like 1 and 2 stars, I was beating players that I couldn't beat that were using like Aramis and I was like, what is going on with these guards? Yeah. So I'm anticipating them to nerf them badly, because obviously it's a new item, and they're probably going to wind up nerfing them and not making them quite as powerful as they are. But for your question that you asked, I did just by random. I started messing around with the mixed marches with this with the new guards, and I had told a really small amount of people in it, and then I saved that setting in my Musketeer fort, and then we discussed it in a room, and then next thing you know, another person started using it, another person started using it, and now it seems to be like almost everybody, except for, I know Chris B was just using straight up infantry and cavalry, but he can use whatever he wants because he's still going to like crush everybody no matter what he uses. So, but yeah, it's interesting how mixed marches are somewhat back, which is actually, I really like that, because it throws a little bit more skill and fine-tuning in the game, because I think that lack of tinkering with your castle has been gone for a long time. And do you remember like a while back where you could literally just send a straight-up distance march and literally zero an entire castle?
Yeah, these times are gone.
I'm glad that's gone, because that's ridiculous. And there's no skill involved, you know? But, you know, like, you know, you check and look at other people's marches and be like, oh, he's using 380 of this, and he's using 320 of this, and like, wow, why is he hitting so much harder than me? And like, I like that, like chasing these tinkering elements of the game, and that's what makes it fun. That's cool, and I'm glad that
I've heard it from the other side. Like, do you know this guy Bloodfrost? He never was able to beat me in fort, and suddenly with new guards, he beats me like, you know, like crazy. So yeah, I've heard. I have 2 closing questions. Do you think merges or migrations actually will be on the table soon?
From what I understand, it is absolutely inevitable that migrations will happen, but we don't think that migrations are happening this round, and that's all speculation. Don't quote me on that. It's just speculation. It's word through the grapevine, and I'm really hoping that isn't the case. I'm hoping that they last minute change something for this particular event. One thing I mentioned in the Uncharted Sea chat, with all the kingdoms that I'm associated with right now with 124, I wish they would just combine all of us. I wouldn't be against that.
And we said the same. Yeah, in 16, when I'm more involved in 16 now because of the event. So we said the same. We have K12 with N2E. He's crazy strong. But even though it's not our player, we would be really happy if they just combine these 8 kingdoms. Good idea. I hope developers will watch this interview and take some conclusions.
We have 121 all the way up until 128, and I wish that it would just combine all of the kingdoms together as one kingdom. I wish that would happen. The migration needs to happen, and every single player in the entire game agrees with that, and that's testimony that it needs to happen, and I hope that they're listening. It absolutely needs to happen for sure. And there's, unfortunately, a lot of players that are literally just holding on for dear life, waiting for it to happen. And I do feel bad for some of the other players that have invested an amazing amount of time and effort and money into their castles, into a crazy dying kingdom, and they're just kind of just there alone. You know what I mean?
My last question was, do you have any message to developers, which you already did, but maybe you have another?
Yeah. Specifically the recruitment hall needs to change. Absolutely. The item box is filled now with ridiculous fragments, and we keep getting guards that we already have maxed out. Make some kind of system where we can take the guard fragments that we win in the recruitment hall or the guard pieces and able to convert them and be able to break those down into something that we choose. Like if we're trying to get Dana or Bella, which is the new guards, let us break down something so we can work our way towards getting that instead of just getting all this useless stuff that we don't need. It's a waste of money, it's a gamble, and it's really leaving a bad taste in a lot of players' mouths.
Totally agree with you. So let it be our final thought.
I do appreciate the interview, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it was a fun conversation, and I hope the viewers on your channel enjoy the interview as well. And I had a great time, and I'm glad that we were able to link up and make this happen. So I'm very thankful for that. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I thank you very much as well that you sacrificed 1 hour in your crazy life. So thank you very much, and well, see you on the battlefield, I think.
Awesome, fantastic.